Welcome to another Round the Grounds episode. Something new for my channel today, a little series called Talking Clubs, where I invite EFL football fans, vloggers, that sort of thing, onto the channel, onto the series, and just talk about their club and what it means to them and why they chose to support them. So today's first guest, Dan, 18 Dapper, you're my guinea pig today. Do you want to introduce us then? Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having us on, mate. It's an honour to be the guinea pig for a new series, and I hope it absolutely blows up on your channel, mate. I think it's a good idea to get people from all clubs on and open it up. And are you going non-league as well?
Yeah. I'll start EFL and definitely non-league. We'll leave that Premier
Oh,
League.
I'm looking forward to seeing where this series goes. But yeah, thanks for having me on as a guinea pig and testing the water. So I'm Dan, 18 Dapper across social media and YouTube. I'm a Donny Rovers fan through and through, and do match day vlogs, match previews. But the big one for me is Sunday evening 72 review with yourself, Punk Chef 41, and Ian Bradley, and other guests come in every now and then. But it's kind of a good way to finish off a week, regardless of results. It's a little bit of therapy. It's like a chat in a pub, and yeah, just finish the week off and hopefully start again and get a more positive result the week after. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more of that next season.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter whether you have a good or bad result. It's always nice to get it off your chest, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. And our lads don't want to listen to it, so you boys have got it.
Yeah, that's it, mate. No, so like I say, it's a new series, Talking Clubs, where I'm just going to fire 7 questions at Dan, and then a little quick fire 5 at the end, which I'll go easy on you, seeing you're my first guest. Obviously, it's new to me and it's new to you, so we'll get started. Yeah. So we'll get started. Dan, tell me why Donny Rovers and where it started for you.
Unfortunately for me, I live in Donny, so it's my local club. I think you've got to support your local club, even if you don't go week in week out. I think it's nice to be even a casual fan of a local club, and if you've got a Premier League affiliation, that's fine. But for me, I've just got dragged into it, and Donny is my club. It came from my granddad on my mum's side. He was a big Rovers fan. And then my dad married into family. He was a casual Barnsley fan from being over that way. So he ended up changing his allegiances to Donny Rovers. And then obviously my brother, myself and my nephew now. So a few generations of Rovers fans, and we stuck with it. And I think if I start a family, even if it's a little boy or a little girl, they'll, unfortunately for them, be red and white at the minute. But hopefully positive times are coming.
Yeah. Do you find, I don't think that happens as much anymore these days, whereas you support, me being a Wednesday fan, my dad took me to my first game. I find growing up, people don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I found it hard as a kid at school. I knew loads of Wednesday fans, Man United fans, Liverpool. There weren't many Rovers fans, to be fair, because we were down in conference. It were a rough period of our history, so I think we lost a generation of fans. But like you say, you don't really see it too much now, where kids follow the parents. I think they're maybe a little bit blinded by the glitz and glamour that is the Premier League and the superstars that are there, and rightfully so. It's a superb level of football to go and watch. But I think for me, I get more of a reward from supporting the Rovers, not seeing us win for so long and then getting the occasional 3 points. It tastes a little bit sweeter. Whereas I think being a Man City fan, it just seems boring to me, looking from the outside in, just kind of expecting to win every game. That's, for me, not football, but people like winning, don't they?
Yeah, that 100% they do, yeah. So obviously growing up, just now to now supporting Rovers, what's your memories supporting Doncaster Rovers?
A big one for me were when we were down in conference. I think this is what kind of hooked me into the Rovers. I remember playing Dover Athletic at Bellevue. We didn't get many fans there anyway. I think there might have been about 1,000, maybe 1,500 fans in. We were 3-0 down by half time. That 1,500 fans went to about 600, and it was game over really. 3-0 down at home at half time. We came back out in the second half. We got it back to 3-3. And then Dover scored, made it 4-3, and the crowd dwindled even further because that were around 78, 79 minutes, something like that. and then we went on and won the game 5-4, and that just sticks in my memory as a point where I thought, yeah, this is the sport for me. I used to enjoy Bellevue because you could boot a bottle around down at bottom and stuff. It were a proper old school football ground. It were a shed, but it was ours. But yeah, that kind of stuck for me. But something that a lot of people don't know, I used to actually go and watch Chef Wednesday as a kid as well. So obviously they were in Premier League back in day, Di Canio, Carboni, Pressman, really big family club back in the 90s. And we had the option of going to Kidderminster away or go and watch Chef Wednesday against Chelsea at Hillsborough at a reasonable price as well. So my dad used to take us there, but it's red and white and Donny's always been kind of there for me.
Yeah. So touching on, obviously you've just touched on the non-league days. What would you say is your favourite season, being a Donny Rovers fan, and why?
I think favourite season, it's tough that, because we've had a really good period of our history as a club. As me watching us play growing up. I think under O'Driscoll, I can't really pick one season, because we had a great cup run in the Carling Cup, in the League Cup. That was under Dave Penny, back at Bellevue, where we beat Aston Villa, we beat Man City, we took Arsenal to penalties, and it took Gilberto to run clear and set one up in added time, on extra time, when the ball hadn't gone out of play. Still hurts a little bit, that one. But taking Premier League teams all the way in that lives long in memory. Obviously winning the Johnson Paint Trophy at Cardiff, that was kind of first major silverware. I know it's a contentious competition, just ask Ian.
it is to some, but I still think you've got. I like it. It's a trophy.
Yeah, it's an opportunity to win something, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it was a great day out, and that was like the first bit of silverware that we'd won. Yeah. And then obviously beating Leeds at Wembley to get back into the Championship, I think it was, from memory. And yeah, it's just so many individual moments. And then you look a little bit closer to like more recent history, Cops at Brentford, when we were top, penalty in last minute. It's just the highs and lows of football, and there's never a dull season as a Donny fan. I know it's been a little bit more dull over recent years, but we tend to either be fighting relegation or fighting near the top of the table. So hopefully this season's the latter, and we're fighting towards top of the table, and it's another memorable one.
I just remember your Championship days. I used to go and watch Donny Rovers quite a lot, because there used to be a few ex-players lived where my mum and dad lived, so I used to go just to watch them, because I got talking to them. The football we used to play when you were in Championship, I thought it was unbelievable. It was just, like, as a Wednesday fan, we were going through as crap times, and we just like, you envied Donny Rovers. It were mentally. I shouldn't be saying that, actually. It sounds a bit big-headed, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Wednesday, there's no two ways about it. Wednesday are a big club. They've got a huge following, a massive history, and I think it'd be daft for people not to think that Wednesday are a bigger club than what Donny are. But like you say, that period in our history, playing under Sean O'Driscoll, we were spoiled as fans. We got to watch some top class footballers, and we've alongside some of them, which is nice as well.
That's it, yeah, exactly, mate. So the questions sort of follow on to each other. So you've touched on moments. I'm going to get you to pick out a standout moment, whether it's a goal, or like you said, going up, promoted. What would you pin that down to? One defining moment for you?
I think a lot of fans will probably say Cops' goal at Brentford, but I didn't make that trip, unfortunately. I think some fans will say the night at Charlton under Grant McCann, where I think Charlton had gone about 3 or 4 months unbeaten, 20 games unbeaten at home, and we beat them on the night in the playoffs, but lost overall. That was another away trip that I didn't make, unfortunately. But for me, the one moment, it's got to be Ayers header at Wembley, because we were massively outnumbered, which you'd expect playing Leeds at Wembley. They sold out their allocation. They had little pockets of fans in the Rovers end as well. But I've never heard noise like it from Rovers fans. It was immense. The roof just got absolutely blown off, and we beat the odds. And nobody were talking about us before the game. The media were purely focused on Leeds United. They were the big club, and we just went about as business. And like you say, we played absolute superb football. And for me, came out deserving winners that day, and that one sticks. Great header as well.
Yeah, especially against Leeds, because everyone wants to beat Leeds, don't they? Yeah. Doing it how you did it and where you did it would just that a bit sweeter for you, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So we're touching on last season. Where do you think it went wrong for you, or as a fan watching?
I think it'd be quicker for me to tell you where it went right. I think it's been an accumulation of a lot of errors over a number of years, to be fair. I think since Darren Moore left to go to Sheff Wednesday, we've never really recovered. Ben Whiteman leaving just before Darren Moore left, I don't think we've ever replaced him. We've never replaced John Marquis as well. And a lot of the stuff, what I think has kind of brought everything together to see us have 2 really poor seasons is the lack of direction from the chairman. I think that's where my finger points at the minute, because he's in charge of the budget, he's in charge of the kind of the business plan, and he's been very focused on Club Doncaster generating the budget, which part of me understands. I think trying to be self-sufficient and self-sustainable it's smart because it gives you longevity, but then at the same time, if it's not generating that budget to be competitive, then you're gonna move backwards in football, which is what we've done. So I feel for Richie Wellens coming in. I feel for Andy Butler, who covered for Darren when he left. I feel for McSheffrey after Wellens. I feel for Danny Schofield to a certain extent as well, because they've all had a shoestring budget, maybe not even that much, and they've been asked to build squads, which has been decimated because we relied on the loan system. So I think it's just a massive, just a pot of poor decisions that have just mixed up and made this recipe for disaster, which is what we've seen, and it's ended up with his lowest position in 20 years, and that's why I think the fan base was so toxic. But it's turned around a little bit. It's much more positive going into this one. There's been investment from Terry Bramall. My concern is that David Blunt is still here. Terry's not going to put money in every season. So what happens next season? What happens the season after that? I think EFL clubs have got to give like guarantees for certain lengths of contracts or something. I'm sure I've read that somewhere. But once these contracts are up, if we're back to the system of Club Doncaster generating our budget, I worry that we're going to end up slipping backwards again. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We'll just enjoy what we're getting at the minute. Yeah.
I think that what you've just touched on there, it doesn't matter what manager who you get, you've got to have that structure from the top. Obviously, going down the club, if it's not right, don't matter who you have in it, it's destined to fail. And
honestly, mate, I think we could have had Pep Guardiola on sideline last year, and we'd have got a similar points tally. I really think that because the squad we've got a good starting 11, or we had a good starting 11, couple of injuries, and we just really struggled. We're expecting younger players to be able to perform at a level that they weren't capable of consistently. They might have been capable of pulling off a decent performance 1 in every 4 or 5, but expecting that every single game in League 2, which is competitive, there's bullies in League 2, and if you're not physically at that level, you just get swallowed up, and I think that's what happened last year.
Yeah, 100%. So we'll leave last year behind. That's done.
Thank you.
Let's go on to next season. How excited are you, buddy?
I'm a bit half and half, to be honest. I've seen a lot of positivity on social media, and rightfully so. I think the recruitment's been good. My one concern is that we're now at a stage that other clubs were at last year or the year before. We've now got a competitive squad where there's options in every position, and it took a big chunk of investment to get to this stage. I think that investment would have been nice if we'd have obviously had that squad and that foundation already there, and we were kind of enhancing it with real quality players. I mean, Wilkes has been banded about for a couple of weeks. I think he's kind of that cherry on top at the minute, somebody with a bit of flair, just a bit of shithousery. I think that's what we're missing, and I think Grant McCann gets the best out of Wilkes he did last time. But I think he's probably beyond our budget now because we've had to build a squad. But I'm looking forward to it because we've actually got a squad where for once going into a season, I can't tell you who the starting 11 is going to be, because I think it's that close and that competitive that every man will be playing for their position, which it'll be healthy competition on training field, I think.
Yeah, 100%. That's what you need. Obviously, in that league, I'm absolutely buzzing to get my teeth stuck into it this year, because the calibre of the teams in there, and it's just incredible. I think it's going to be the league to watch, if I'm honest.
Yeah, a minute. I've not kind of bolted in my predictions yet, but I'm thinking around 9th or 10th for Donny.
So you've just answered my next question, mate.
Well, what a segue. I'll let you answer.
I was just about to ask you, predict your league position, mate.
There you go, 9th or 10th, unless something happens in the next couple of weeks and we get that flair player in. I can't look beyond Wrexham. There, obviously, they've got money. I don't think you can discount them. Notts County, Stockport County, Bradford, Swindon, Salford, Mansfield, Gillingham will be up there. I think MK Dons will be up there. So that's 9 teams that I've mentioned that I think will all be battling. I think there's only maybe 5 or 6 who won't have a chance of getting into the playoffs. So that gives you 18 teams, all who can have a decent little run and be touching there. I think it's just going to be so tight. It's a tough one to call, but yeah, if I were a betting man, which I sometimes am, I'd go 9th or 10th at Rovers.
Yeah, with a little promotion push, playoffs in the mix. Do you think?
Yeah, I think there's a good chance. I think we grant McCann there. I think you've got somebody who's won promotion. He's been in jobs where he's had difficulties. He's been in jobs where he's kept teams up. He's promoted teams. He's had relegations as well. So I think he's a well-rounded manager. And I think if something's not quite working, unlike Danny Schofield last year, where he was quite stubborn in his tactics and his setup, I think Grant will be quite happy to kind of throw everything at the players and swap it around as well and try. I think he'll be able to get the best out of players like Luke Molyneux, who underperformed last year. I think we'll see a different player in him, especially with Sterry coming in from Hartlepool as well. So yeah, I think having an experienced manager, I think will make a difference and give us that chance to break into playoffs. Hopefully top 3 though.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to seeing where Donny end up, and it's just nice to see you recruited and done your business, and for your sake, and for your sake, obviously it's a bit painful to watch at times, and you stuck with him, but your content was still brilliant. You spoke from the heart, so for you, I hope you do really well, mate.
I think that's the thing with football, though, mate. It goes in cycles, and I think anybody who's not willing to sit through the tough times and support the team don't deserve to be there in the positive times. So I was questioning whether I was going to get a season ticket this year, and I kind of sat back and thought, you know what, it gets me out on a Saturday. I see my family. It's something that I want to be there for the rest of my life, and I don't think I'd feel comfortable going back if we were top at table at Christmas and buying a half season ticket. I feel like I'd kind of left them out in cold to then go crawling back, if that makes sense. So for me, I get what people say about not supporting the regime and stuff like that if it's not quite going right, but for me, you support your club through thick and thin.
100%, mate. So they're the questions. So now we're getting onto the nitty gritty with a quick fire 5 just before we end this little section of talking clubs on the first episode.
I'm worried about this quick fire 5.
Yeah, nothing too bad, mate. Don't worry. So yeah, quick fire 5. Your favourite footy scran at a game?
Oh, that is them potatoes from Huddersfield. They were banging with brisket gravy. Beautiful.
Decent. I've seen a picture of them. I feel like I need to sample them.
They were beautiful. Banging. Yeah.
10 out of
10? Not quite. Bit overdone when I had them.
Question 2. Your favourite ever Rovers player?
It's got to be Cops. Just for what he gave to the club. Best 30 grand we've ever spent.
Yeah. Bellevue or Eco Power Stadium?
Yeah, Bellevue for memories. Bellevue.
Favourite away ground in the EFL?
Oh, do you know what? I really enjoyed trip to Plymouth. That were a good trip and nice little stadium. So yeah. Plymouth.
They're always noisy, aren't
they? Yeah.
And last one, one player you could sign, past or present, for the Rovers team this season.
Rumours went around. I don't think it's happening, but I'd take Billy Sharp back. Goal scorer is unreal. Absolute legend. So yeah, I'd take him back.
Yeah, and he'd score for fun in League Two, I think.
Yeah, I think he'd get 25, 30 goals.
Yeah. So that rounds off the first episode of Talking Clubs. Fingers crossed it goes well, and it's something I can build on in the future. Buzzing to have you on, Dan, because you've helped me tons in the past, starting my channel and welcome me onto your channel many a times. But subscribe to this guy, absolute gent, top content, and looking forward to seeing what he's got coming this season. But yeah, thanks for watching, and Dan, give me a name for the next episode. Club, fan.
I think you've got to have Ian Rotherham.
Oh yeah, shout out. Got to
go with that.
It's got to be Ian, hasn't it? I appreciate you coming on.
20 minutes long, Lee.
I know, yeah. No, I appreciate you coming on, and thanks for your time. Cheers for watching, everyone.
Thank you.